You are listening to the Children of Film podcast.
We're a 1.5 hour long dick joke.
Welcome back to the Children of Film podcast. This is episode 18, I reckon. I think it's 18, 17 or 18. Yeah. I'm your host. We are your hosts. I am Jacob, and this man sitting across from me in another state is Jaron Heron, and we are here to talk about movies and fuck bitches, and we just finished talking about movies.
So this whole podcast is just going to be fucking bitches?
Yes.
You know what? I'm not going to complain.
So we're going to be talking about Guardians again, 2 weeks in a row. I know, deja vu. But, we left out spoilers last week because, to be courteous to the people of America who have not, the movie's not out there yet. It might be by the time this is uploaded. But, we're going to be talking Guardians of the Galaxy 2 spoilers tonight. So, we can get more in-depth with some of our deeper thoughts on it. But, that's not it. If you haven't seen Guardians, don't go anywhere. There's plenty more shit to see. We're going to be talking some box office predictions for the rest of the year. And all our usual shit. And how you doing, Jaron?
I'm not going to lie. Not too bad at the moment, Jacob. Thanks for asking. How are you? You know what? We don't ask this enough. Just how are you, mate?
Yeah. Just these little heart-to-heart conversations. I'm pretty good. Worked this morning, so I'm a little drowsy, but, I think we'll
You're still a little sick, right. So we might get some coughing fits, but,
still
nothing
a little sick. You're gonna hear only slightly more coughing fits than I usually
Even when
have.
He's not sick. It's
on
just all the time.
Today's show. But anyway, enough of the pleasantries, Jaron. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Yep.
Our diary display, where we talk about some of the shit we've been watching lately, just some of the movies we've been watching since last time we recorded, and give some thoughts. So, Jaron, you want to get started?
I'd absolutely love to. Thank you for giving me the courteous gratitude to begin. I begin with a movie that you can jump in on because we both watched it. It's a Netflix film, Bottom of the World, 2017 release, and it stars Jenna Malone.
We are masochists, so we watch everything Netflix puts out.
Yeah, it stars Jenna Malone, and this is the first big movie of 20, after like about 40 or so movies I've seen, 43 or something, that Jacob and I have had a big disagreement on because I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was pretty good, and Jacob thought it was rubbish. So, do you want to jump in?
I thought it was just a monstrosity.
Ooh.
It was painful to get
I
through.
enjoyed myself watching it, actually. I didn't feel it.
I was about to describe the plot, but there isn't one.
I wouldn't say that.
It's like some evil-looking kid, but he's not really evil. I just thought he had an evil-looking face. And Jenna Malone, they're driving for some reason. They're staying in hotels for some reason. And then there's a guy in a balaclava following them.
It's to get away from life,
she goes missing, and then there's just a bunch of surrealist bullshit. Like, look at it.
Well, it's supposed to be like a dream, kind of. Like, yeah, it is supposed to be surreal and kind of dream-like.
I don't know. He's living in someone else's dream or some shit. But I don't know. It just... Yeah. It was, like, painfully tedious and just sort of self-important. Like, yeah, look at us. We're a fucking smart movie.
I didn't mind it. I gave it a 2.5.
But,
because I actually didn't feel the runtime. I don't know why. I did enjoy myself watching, and some of it, like...
it's really short.
Like, like Jenna Malone has a big speech at the start where she talks about how she treated, like, she tortured her cousin who's a vegetable, like, she jerked him off and made the dog lick peanut butter out of his ass and tried to drown him in a kiddie pool. Like, it's pretty weird, but then, and it is very surreal, and it evolves from that, which was kind of, like a joking thing, but
I can't look at Jenna Malone the same way after watching The Neon Demon.
No, it's that you're not wrong there. It's kind of hard to look past, but
I just there will be a part of my brain that will just hate her forever.
I don't know.
Now.
I like this kid, and I like where the plot went, and kind of. I mean, she was good in that movie, but it's just what her character did. But her, I kind of evolved. It was very dreamlike. It felt very visually aesthetic. I really liked the look of it and the kind of the movements they did with the camera.
So if you're a completionist like us and just watch everything that comes out, go see it, make up your own mind.
Yeah, you won't love it, but it's not bad. I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the cinema, and I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a little bit more this time because I knew what I was getting into.
Hey, leave that for the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm just saying it, mate. I watched Going in Style the same day in the cinema, and spoiler alert, it's very bad. it tries to, like, everyone I see talking about it's like, oh, it's not that bad, it's a fun time, and I'm like, if you have to say, oh, it's not that bad, it's pretty bad. Like, they try to justify these three guys stealing money from a bank because, they gave some to their granddaughter and they gave some to their mates, it's all good, but, like, they still held up a bank and stole millions of dollars and shit, like, and it's just really dumb, and, like, there's lots of loose ends and stuff where it's like, they plan this thing to an absolute T, and then for some reason this girl doesn't rat him out. It's really dumb. It's just one of those. So it's like, one of those movies that's in. So
it's like a shittier version of Las Vegas, which wasn't even that good.
Well,
to begin with.
it is in that genre of look at us, we're old, but we can still do stuff. Las Vegas stand-up guys going in style, dirty grandpa.
What would have just made it worse is if De Niro was there.
Well, this one's got Alan. It's always like Alan Arkin and Michael Caine and
Al Pacino and
Robert De Niro, stuff like that. But it was bad. I rewatched a couple movies that are a couple of my favorite comedies, like Pineapple Express, which was amazing, and Meet the Parents, which we just talked about Robert De Niro being old in. He's amazing in that. His laugh per minute ratio is just off the chart. Everything he says is amazing and hilarious. This is one you have to see. It's a fucking funny ass comedy.
Jixie Cat.
I watched a 2017 movie again, Denial, in the cinema up in Fremantle at my indie theatre because they got rid of Colossal, so I watched this instead, and it's very good. It's about the trial of it's a courtroom drama, and Jacob, I'm a sucker for courtroom movies. It's about David Irving, and it takes place in the 90s, and he's a
Jaron. Yeah. If you're a sucker for courtroom movies, have you seen Primal Fear?
I haven't
Highly recommended, man. Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Edward Norton in one of his best performances. Great fucking film.
I'll have to get on that Primal Fear. I've heard of it, just haven't seen it. And it takes place in the 90s, and it's just true story of David Irving, who is a Holocaust denier. He claims it never happened. He has books about it, and all the neo-Nazis back him and stuff. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. And it's this ridiculous movie about how Rachel Weisz has to try and convince them that that the Holocaust happened, which is just ludicrous. Of course it didn't. It's like it's kind of real. Just silly. No, I really enjoyed it. The script is amazing. All the performances are fantastic. I really, really liked it. It's in one of my favourites of 2017, and I gave that a 4. I watched American Gangster, a Ridley Scott film with Russell Crowe, who I absolutely love, and Denzel, who I also really like. Great film. I didn't really feel the runtime either. It was just really great to watch. I watched the 2017 movie, again, Small Crimes, Netflix movie, and it's by E.L. Katz, who did Cheap Thrills a few years ago, which I love. I own it. And this was a bit of a disappointment. It wasn't bad.
Cheap Thrills is awesome.
It stars Jamie Lannister, and, it's not bad, but it's not good.
Did you say Jamie Lannister because you don't know how to pronounce his name?
Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I'm actually...
I'm going to have a crack. Nicolaj Coster-Waldau?
I mean, that sounds like a very simplified version.
Where's Waldo?
I'm going to say Nicolaj Coster-Waldau. It has Jackie Weaver in it. Jackie Weaver.
I don't think it's Waldau.
It was something. I think Jackie Weaver has a contract with The World that says every year she has to be in at least 3 wise old lady mum type characters in indie movies.
And she's in these she pops up in these no budget, nothing movies.
It's amazing.
I don't get it.
I watched October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was really great. It wasn't the movie I was expecting. It's a family film. It's pretty cheesy, and it's the true story of a kid who just wants to be a rocketeer, design rockets, work for NASA, and his dad, is the head of the mining, and he's like, "You're a bad son." It's basically the full movie of when Zoolander goes to visit his parents.
You're a bad son.
It's basically the full movie of when
Zoolander
goes to visit his parents in Zoolander, and they're all mining, and they're like, "You're not my son," and he's like, "Dad, I just want to be like you," and then he leaves and does his
it's like
thing.
all of BoJack Horseman's child flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And yeah, his mum's alright, but his dad's a bit of a wanker. I watched a film swap that we'll get into, and then I rewatched the magical movie La La Land because it came out on Blu-ray. As soon as I got it, I put it on.
As did
and I escaped. It's fantastic. Jacob, do you want to get us into your diary?
How many times have you seen it now?
5 or 6.
Oh, I've seen it 8 now.
Ooh. Doesn't mind
and
it.
I would have seen it more if it weren't for you
meddling kids,
shitty small town cinema.
Yeah. And the small town cinema's bloody dog.
Yep, fuck that cinema, dude. You know how shit our cinema is? The lineup of movies we're getting for the next month, the one I'm most excited for is Get Out, which I've already seen.
You guys getting Alien Isolation? I mean, Alien...
I am
whatever?
keen for Alien, though.
Are you getting it?
I'm very keen for Alien. Yes, we're getting it. Yep,
nice,
we're getting
good.
it on the actual release date.
Ooh, that's good. You guys aren't getting John Wick
so
either. We get that in
we
about
can
a
probably...
week.
We'll probably do an episode on Alien.
Absolutely, with spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, your diary?
Yes. All right. I guess I'll get started with mine. I watched. I ordered a bunch of Blu-rays that all arrived, so I've basically just been watching all of these ones for
I
the
live
first
right
time.
next to the store, so
Charlie
I got mine
Wilson's
straight
War.
away.
Yeah, well, with the only movie store in our town is shit, so I basically order all my movies online. So, like, Charlie Wilson's War, Tom Hanks plays Charlie Wilson. He's this senator. He likes to party, he likes a bit of cocaine, likes cocaine and hookers, my friend. But basically, it's about how he worked with some other people behind the scenes to kind of put an end to the Cold War, but like it kind of resulted in them starting Al Qaeda because they sold weapons to all these Middle Eastern countries and shit. So it's pretty funny. I mean, it does look at some serious subject matter, but it is also a funny movie and kind of a look at, like, what was the end quote? It was like it was something, but they're like, we fucked up the end game or something. And because, yeah, what they did basically created Al Qaeda and shit. And the movie was alright. It was kind of boring, but you really watch it for the performances, especially Philip Seymour Hoffman, who was fucking amazing in it. He's so damn good.
He's amazing in every
movie he's ever done. He's so damn good. Cough, cough. I rewatched Unbreakable because I ordered that on Blu-ray and I wanted to watch it with the hindsight of having seen Split, and it didn't change too much for me watching it again, but I still really, really enjoyed it, and it's a damn good movie, and I can't wait for the sequel, which we will talk about later on the show. I watched The Clouds of Sils Maria, directed by Olivier Assayas, if I'm pronouncing that right, the guy who made Personal Shopper. So went back and watched this, and it was good, but I didn't love it. Like, I'm not normally the guy who likes to use the word pretentious to describe a movie, but you know, it does get by on the great performances by Kristen Stewart and Juliette Binoche, who's the lead. And it's a good character study on, like, she's like an actress, and like it's kind of like Birdman, but like way less, like, you know, over the top and cinematic, if you know what I mean. Like, it's very introspective.
Well, it's about an actress and it takes
like,
place in one day with one continuous shot.
And it's kind of like, you know, like she starred as this famous character in a play like 20 years ago, and now they want her to play in like a remake of it, but as the older character, and she's like kind of conflicted, like she doesn't want to because she still sees herself as the younger one. So it's kind of like, you know, crisis of identity and shit there, and it was pretty good. It looked at some interesting themes, but I don't know if it was as deep as it thought it was because I'd struggled to hold my interest at times. I watched Love and Other Drugs solely for the purpose of Jake Gyllenhaal because he's the man, and the movie was not good.
No, I told you.
Like, it wasn't very good, I don't think. Yeah.
But Jakey,
it got by because, you know, Jakey G and Anne Hathaway, you see a lot of them.
Ooh,
and
yes,
they're both charismatic. Like, their performances, like, the movie doesn't really deserve their performances. Like, they're too good for it, really. And,
I mean, if it was two bland actors in that script, I wouldn't.
It would have been insufferable.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just hope one day Jakey G shows us that Jakey Johnson.
Oh please! I can't believe we got to see Anne Hathaway's Jakey G's, but we didn't get to see Jakey G's Jakey G.
That movie's kind of sexist, man. That movie's sexist because Anne Hathaway has to get naked, but Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't. Bullshit. I mean, you just feel cheated.
Exactly.
You just feel cheated. It's not fair. Yeah, give us that Snake Gyllenhaal.
It's funny because that's a joke, like penis, but it's also in what's that movie? Was it
Central Intelligence?
I call him Snake Gyllenhaal.
Snake Gyllenhaal.
So dumb, but so
Jake
good.
Gyllenhaal. I watched Apocalypse Now, which is a movie that is from 1979. It's regarded as one of the best war movies of all time. I've now seen 2 Francis Ford Coppola movies. I will say I liked this more than The Godfather. It's pretty damn good. It's very powerful, and you can tell Kong Skull Island took a lot from its imagery. The scene in Kong where they like ride the helicopters into the storm and shit, and
that's
they're blasting
always
the music
been
out of it. That is lifted directly.
I've seen that
out
lifted
of this.
like hundreds of times.
The scene in question in Apocalypse Now, where they ride the helicopters in, blasting music, shooting a bunch of fucking rice hat wearing motherfuckers. They like. It's such a great scene. It's like really, really well done, and the colors in it are amazing. Marlon Brando's great. He doesn't show up till the third act, but he was really good. And Martin Sheen is the main bloke, and a few other people show up. Harrison Ford's in it for like one scene, which was pretty cool. And Lawrence Fishburne was a young dude in it. I didn't recognize him at first. But no, it was... I'll stop just naming random cast members. Like, it was a damn good movie. I didn't love the third act, but the performances were fantastic, and it doesn't really go where you'd expect it to go. Like it does not end like a traditional war movie, which I liked about it. Sorry. I watched Film Swab. I watched Charlie Kaufman's adaptation. I believe you talked about that last week.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, hey, it was really... I just missed the days of Nicolas Cage actually taking acting seriously, because he was fucking great in it. He played Charlie Kaufman and his fictional brother trying to adapt The Orchid Thief, a book about flowers, and it gets pretty insane. Like, someone gets eaten by crocodiles in it.
It's pretty good.
That's all I'll say. That basically just sums up the movie, really.
It's alligators, actually, but...
Oh, one of them. My sincerest apologies for the coughing. I cannot help it. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy I watched on Netflix. I've been kind of meaning to for a while, just because I like sci-fi and I love Sam Rockwell. He's one of my favourite actors, so I watched it. And the movie wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't even that good, but it was fun. It had some really, really funny jokes. There was some good narration. Martin Freeman is the man, so it was cool to see him as the main character in this. Fucking Alan Rickman voices a depressed robot, which was amazing. The whole robot the whole time, he's just like, I have an idea, but I won't bother. None of you would listen. No one ever listens. He was so damn good. Sam Rockwell was probably the best part, but yeah, there's not much to it. It's like pretty generic. You know how it's going to end from the first scene, and it's basically like, you know, those stories like, you know, schlubby guy gets the girl. That's basically what the movie is. Like, awesome. You know, like this girl the whole time, and like Zooey Deschanel always plays that type of character, like the manic pixie dream girl who, like, you know, she shows up and reignites like the maybe uptight character's flair for life. She's played that in like 4 different movies. Fucking... Anyway, yeah, it's an alright movie. I rewatched Everybody Wants Some, which is fucking great. It's fucking hilarious. One of Jaren's favourites of last year.
Yeah, my top 10 of last year.
It's so funny, dude. Like, you're laughing every minute, every couple minutes.
Like almost...
And the characters are so memorable. The raw dog. You're here with the big dick dogs now. Fucking Willoughby, who's actually a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, right. He's like, in 22 Jump Street.
Faking his way onto a...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Wyatt... Isn't that Kurt Russell's son?
Yeah, it's Wyatt Russell's. Yeah, it's his son.
Wyatt Russell?
Yep.
The man.
Blake Jenner's great in it.
Blake Jenner was good, but Glenn Powell is the MVP.
Finnegan is
fucking
the
Finnegan.
best. Everyone is so good in it. Like all of these characters are completely different. They're not just...
When they're rapping Rapper's Delight in the car, it's amazing.
Oh, I love it.
I heard your cock looks like an Audi belly button.
I got your joke right here.
So funny.
You just call his dick a joke? That's what I heard.
Then, yeah... Jay Niles, the raw dog. You want me on the mound?
Yeah, I'm the raw
fucking
dog,
Tyler
man.
Hoechlin. How he meets like the new guy, and when he learns he's a picture, he shakes his hand and then wipes his hand off on his shirt when he learns he's a
Tyler
picture.
Hoechlin. He's Superman now. They've all gone on to do some pretty.
He was
stuff.
when he gets beaten at table tennis and he fucking goes off
and
his head.
He throws the bat and it just misses him in the head. Oh, it's amazing.
Like, they're all so competitive and shit. But no, Linklater is the master of plotless movies.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone doesn't really have a plot, doesn't really have a conflict, but you're just hanging out with these guys, and it perfectly captures that vibe, which is awesome. It does.
It's about nothing and everything.
Yep. I rewatched La La Land as well, I already said. And I watched 8 Single Man. Been meaning to for a little while. Blu-ray finally arrived in the mail. Tom Ford's first movie. Love Nocturnal Animals. And A Single Man was... fuck's sake. I'm sick of this shit. It's like I've got Tourette's. I have to keep coughing. A Single Man is really damn good. Colin Firth plays this guy. I won't go into the plot too much, but basically he's grieving the loss of his boyfriend because he's a fucking poofter, Jaron. And
I'm not watching it.
But it's set in the 60s, I think. So it can't really be that open with it. But like, it's just a really great portrayal of grief and about how happiness isn't a constant feeling. It is fleeting moments of happiness. And the way he uses color in this, like the color saturation changes so rapidly. Like in a scene, it'll be like dull gray and then it'll like flush like with bright red colors and stuff like that. And like to show like the moments of happiness and stuff. Like the style in this movie is so damn good. The fucking music was amazing. It sounds very similar to the Nocturnal Animals score, so I feel like it's probably the same guy. Firth is amazing in it. I'm surprised he didn't even win the Oscar that year. I mean, I haven't seen Crazy Heart, Jeff Bridges, which did win, but I've seen a couple of the other nominees, and I would put Firth above them. He was so damn good in this. I thought he was better in this than The King's Speech, which he won for.
He was great in King's Speech.
Yeah, it's a really, really bittersweet experience. Nicholas Holt's there. He's pretty good. Julianne Moore. It was a darn good motion picture, and I cannot wait to see what Tom Ford does next, because I love his style. Freaking fashion designers make great filmmakers. Who knew?
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's fucking hectic.
Alright, so that's it for the Diary Display. 21 minutes isn't too bad.
It's not great, but...
Or however long we've been going, but I guess next up we'll get into the movie news. So, Jaron, what do we got first?
I would absolutely love to nut into this movie news, and we'll try and get it out quickly because we have a couple of big segments coming up. But first, we have an adaptation of the comic book Superman versus the Ku Klux Klan is in development, and it's a comic book, as I'm pretty sure I recall. It's from the 1940s, and it's a radio, so there's like this radio thing, and they recall the time Superman fought 30 members of the Ku Klux Klan. And it's going to be animated, and it just sounds amazing. I just cannot wait for it.
You had me at KKK.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, like seeing them getting beaten up is just like the best of anything, so that's fair.
No, I mean just the KKK being represented in a film. Like,
down.
My brothers!
Jesus Christ.
My brothers!
Alright,
the Holocaust didn't happen!
I don't endorse this.
The Holocaust never happened!
Jeez.
That's what Superman has to go into a court of law and prove that the Holocaust happened.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
And Moriarty is his lawyer.
Hey,
yeah.
That would still be a better courtroom scene than Granny's peach tea.
Oh god, let's anything
well,
would.
that wasn't a courtroom, it was the senator's room or
anything
whatever.
would though, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And speaking of superhero films, Jacob, M. Night Shyamalan's sequel to Unbreakable and Split is called Glass, and it's set for January 2019.
He announced it on Twitter by just writing a whole bunch of tweets like, James McAvoy's back, Sam Jackson's back, Bruce Willis is back, Anya Taylor-Joy's back, fuck you all.
He's happy, man. He's on it. He's endured like 10 years of nothing but scrutiny, and now everyone's excited for him, and he's like, oh yeah, boy, and he's just like riding that high horse, boy.
He's restored his love of filmmaking, although to be honest, I don't think he ever lost his love of filmmaking.
God, no.
Like, he's still in, like, while he was making the bad movies, I'm pretty sure he thought they were going to be good.
Of course
but
he
I
did.
think now I think now he's become more self-aware, I think, and he knows that people haven't been on board with him.
I wonder if he still thinks they're
I think
good.
he's really taken it seriously to sort of put himself back in like good stead with the public and making good movies again, because I didn't actually like The Visit, but it was a big step up for most people. But Split was on another level. Like, I think it's my favourite movie of his.
Oh yeah, it's bloody great. I agree. But I mean, in saying that, so all his movies say they have 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. That means 20% of critics like his stuff. So, 2 out of 10 people like those movies.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the horribly regarded ones. I've seen The Last Airbender, which is just an abomination.
I saw that in the cinema because I love the animated.
I haven't seen Lady in the Water. I've seen a bit of The Happening,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen After It.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have the Conjuring 2 spin-off, The Nun, which is just an awfully titled
Which I still
film.
am so against that title.
Bonnie Aarons, who played...
It's Valak!
Bonnie
It's not an actual nun! It's a demon taking the form of a nun! But people were like, oh, the nun was scary in The Conjuring, so they're going to capitalise on that to make money!
Yeah, the thing is, Valak takes the form of whatever is scared of whatever it's haunting, so why would it just be the nun again? It's really stupid. Anyway, Bonnie Aarons is coming back to reprise that role, so even though these spin-offs are shit, they obviously want to keep continuity. And so she's reprising
really, Valak
Valak
would probably
in The
be
Nun.
taking the form of something else if
But-
it's in another situation, but they're just going to use the nun, because that was, that made headlines of The Conjuring 2, and that sold the trailers, so they're going to be like, oh, let's fucking peddle this to the
But
masses.
Jacob, they have also cast Vera Farmiga's daughter. So what if... Sister, sorry. So what if she... Well, younger
Dasa.
sister. What if she's playing a young
Lorraine?
Lorraine and it's still the nun because it's still the same thing haunting her?
Because it did kind of look like Lorraine had some connection to that painting.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. I
But
don't know,
even
though.
so, it should still be called Valak.
I don't know why they would want to... I don't know why they'd connect it
Yeah,
to
no, neither.
the Conjuring universe. It seems these spin-offs are just like separate things. I never watched Annabelle because it
I
just
watched
looked like
it.
shit, but...
No, they're
Was it
they're
shit?
fully connected. The Warrens appear at the end of Annabelle. Well,
oh, really? Well, that's
They
disappointing.
say their names
to hear.
or some shit. They're like, oh, we know a husband and wife who can help you with that. Don't worry. And then a bloody wink and a nod, mate, to the audience, and then it ends. And I think they might show up
I just
or
think The
something.
Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are so damn
Oh,
good.
yeah, they're
they're
terrific.
just kind of bastardizing it by making all these spin-offs.
Well,
and shit.
James...
But I guess they got to make the money to pay for that.
Well,
lawsuit.
James had nothing to do with Annabelle, and I think he's producing The Nun. So
Yeah,
maybe
Corin
he's-
Hardy's directing it. He hasn't really done
maybe he
anything,
saw how
so-
shit Annabelle was, and he's like, wow, I cannot let this happen again.
He was on board to direct the Crow remake. I don't know if he's still doing that.
I just want
but,
to do The Conjuring 3.
He hasn't really made much. Yeah, I just want... Like, seriously, I don't give a shit about this. I'll watch The Nun, but... And I just think it looks dumb. I feel like it's literally made only to make money. While I think the first Conjuring was, like... And even the second one is one genuinely, like, I'm going to scare some people, I'm
They're
going to make a
so
great horror
damn
movie.
well made. The cinematography and score in those movies is off the charts fantastic.
And these spin-offs just feel like they only exist to make money, which kind of pisses me off, but... it could be good. We'll see.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll have to see. And that's filming this week, at the end of this week. So it's and it's going out summer next year. David Fincher is in talks to board World War Z 2. Brad Pitt has officially worn him down after years of begging him, it looks like, and it looks like he's about to sign on that dotted line. I'm split.
Jaron?
First of all, 50% of me is like,
Jaron.
no, yeah.
Can I speak?
Yeah, you can.
Can we just have a moment of silence in respect to the death of cinema?
It's not that bad.
Because David Fincher directing World War Z 2 can only mean it's the apocalypse.
Yes, 50% of me agrees that he should be doing his other thing, but also there is a large portion of me that is going, David Fincher is into fucked up stuff, and this is like zombies taking over the world. Either way, he's going to make.
Yeah, but it's not. It's going to have to be PG-13 though.
No, he's not going to be bullied around. I don't think it will be PG-13. He's not. He'll do what he wants.
I don't know. It's a big franchise
he was in
movie.
He's been in talks for it for a year. He's going to make what he wants, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows that it's not going to be rated PG-13. It's going to be R, and it's going to be.
He's so far above this level.
Oh yeah,
man.
I completely agree. I'm like, come on, Brad Pitt, why'd you talk him down?
He's fucked off doing TV for 3 years, and now when he finally comes back for a film, it's fucking World War Z 2. As a massive Fincher fan, that is just so disappointing.
Yeah, it does suck, but
sure, he's probably gonna do a great job, but World War Z 2 was probably gonna get made one way or another by whoever they got to do it. It doesn't need David Fincher.
No, but if anyone was going to do this movie and do it right, it would be David Fincher. Anyone. No one else would do it. No one in the
talent's
world could do this
wasted.
movie as good as he can.
That's
insane.
That's like getting Albert Einstein to teach high school maths.
Yeah. Pretty much. But if he signs on and there's nothing I can do about it, I'll be excited to see it, but I'd rather him do something else. I'd still go and see it though, no matter what. Still give it my money, and it would be damn good either way.
I'm glad he's making a movie.
I'd rather him do the. I'd rather him make this.
Fuck you, Brad Pitt.
I'd rather him. Yeah, right. Fuck you, Brad Pitt. I'd rather him make this than just do TV for 3 more years without doing another movie. If he's gonna make a movie anyway, because it doesn't look like he was gonna make anything.
Brad
anyway.
Pitt.
He's doing a TV. He's
Brad
doing a
Pitt,
Netflix show.
instead of putting all your energy into convincing Fincher to do World War Z 2, can you put some energy into getting the 4-hour cut of the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Ford released? Because I'd like to see that. Come on, Brad. I'm sure you can find it. You're a producer on
Fucking
it.
Bradley. Yeah.
Come on.
Come
on, Bradley. Braddles.
And our last bit of news is Seth Rogen and The Lonely Island are making a... So basically, Ja Rule, sure you heard of it, had like this big fire festival, and all these several celebrities were endorsing it, and then it just blew up on their face, and everyone left, all the board members left, all the celebrities pulled out, and these people, some people paid $100,000 to go, went there, and there was no one there. Like, they were on Twitter, and some people described it as the Hunger Games, but less luxurious. And apparently they were all going to get fed these amazing meals and stay in tents, and these tents were like crappy little like Kmart dome tents, and the meals they got was a little cellophane box with salad and 2 bits of bread and then cheese and like
a fucking processed
and
cheese
it was a
slice.
whole island just for, and all the musicians that were going there pulled out, so these people just went to an island and did nothing except for a couple low bands were playing.
Dude.
And then like,
if you played 12,000 to go see a festival where Blink 182 was the headliner, I mean, it's kind of you put
$100,000, you know. But it's also staying on Ja Rule's island.
No, it was like 12.
No, it said the highest ticket was $100,000. Anyway. But inside of that, 4 days after that, Seth Rogen actually tweeted out something like, in hindsight of Fire Festival playing, I bet it's time to announce my next movie. Him and The Lonely Island are teaming up to make a movie which is going to be about a festival that goes horribly wrong. And this is amazing, first of all, because I love Seth Rogen. Second of all, I love The Lonely Island. We know they love working together because they did... what's that they did that song I'm a Boss together, and also tons of connections, you know, like Bill Hader is in all the Lonely Island movies, and you know, you can tell that their brand of humor is very similar and just stuff like that. Yeah, and no, I'm really excited for this because it just seems their brand of humor just blends together really well, and this is just like seems like a dream to me. What do you think about it?
I'm keen because I'm glad The Lonely Island are making another movie, because after Popstar tanked, I was worried they would never be allowed near a camera.
It tanked
again.
so hard that the release got pulled from Australia and we didn't even get it.
It's so good
though.
Why didn't people?
No, I don't get it. But it's amazing, and at least, and I mean, if Seth Rogen, maybe they could only make it with Seth Rogen with him,
because Seth Rogen actually makes money. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. I was waiting for you to
I think
talk.
we both just...
I think
we're both waiting for the other
that
person
gap.
to talk. So what's it going to be? Long silence or mean comment?
You got me in a box here, Jacob. Jacob, should we talk movie swap?
No. Oh, I
That's
guess.
fair. We'll just skip it.
I guess we can mosey on to that segment of the show. So, Jaren, the movie I gave Jaren this week, a film swap, for those of you who are new to the show, which is probably like maybe 1 person, 2 people, on top of our 7 regular listeners.
That's fair.
Film swap, we each give each other a movie to watch, you know, a recommendation, one that the other person hasn't seen, and see how they go. Now, I gave Jaren a movie. I haven't given him one of my favourites this week. I've just given him a movie, came out last year, not a lot of people saw, didn't get very good reviews, but one that I really liked, and I had to know if anyone else liked it. So I gave Jaren Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, a movie from last year that I thought was very underrated.
Jacob, can I ask you something?
Are you going to bring up the fucking Alvin and the Chipmunks song
No.
it? Get over it. It happened.
It's going to be something else. Jacob, can I ask you something? Do you mind if I sleep with all your security men? No, that's...
Margot Robbie.
Wow, thanks for that overwhelming applaud there, Jacob, for that hilarious joke I just gave. I just seem like a dickhead now.
I thought the movie was pretty funny, though, for the most part.
Yeah, it was... I think it wasn't... I think it was... I liked it. I didn't love it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 just off the bat. I think that it was...
Wow, is that your whole review done?
Yeah, no, that's done. You go. No, I think that it was trying to be really funny and then also trying to be like this drama, and I don't think they mixed well. I think they should have gone with one or the other. Obviously, having Tina Fey in, you're going to want to make some jokes, but I don't think it was really one or the other. It was just kind of meh on both, which made me not really care about, the plot. But in saying that, I did like this. Martin Freeman comes in and gives like a Welsh accent, and he was really, really damn good in it.
He was Scottish.
Billy, yep, that's the same old. They're the same.
And just love how many times he said cunt.
Yeah, so much. I thought it was rated M or something. And then that happened. I'm like, geez. Billy Bob Thornton plays this army general. It's good to see him in a serious role instead of just doing nothing. And yeah, so Tina Fey plays this character, and she basically goes. Where does she go? Does she go to Afghanistan or something?
Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan, and she is a journalist, like a newsreader, and she goes down there to get some information and a story on all these people, and she becomes like the first person to be allowed to interview this like German leader. And I love how he's like, oh, look what I heard you broke up with your boyfriend. She's like, yeah. And he's like, look what I just had installed. And it's like a bed, and she's like, oh yeah, that's a bed. And he's like, yes.
Yeah, I thought his whole storyline didn't work that well.
No, it was very weird.
Alfred Molina, who's not even an Afghan playing an Afghan.
Yeah, right.
But like, how about when they're talking to the soldiers, and like the Afghani goes to one of the soldiers like, are you guys the Russians? Yeah. And the black guy's like, no, the Russians left a long time ago. Also, I'm black. And then the Afghan guy goes back to his mates and he's like, the Russians are black now.
Yeah. It is funny. It has some funny moments, but I think overall, one of the aspects that it did kind of mix it up. So like Tina Fey's got this kind of serious storyline, and she's doing this. It's really charging ahead, and then every now and then she'll stop to Skype her boyfriend, and then like an hour in, her boyfriend, if you find out he's cheating on her, and she's like, ha! And then she slams down the laptop, and then she just jumps on Martin Freeman's dick, and then she rides that for a while, and Margot Robbie's just like there and stuff like that. I can't remember his name. From Neighbours is in it. The Australian soap opera TV show, and it's pretty funny.
You big cunt.
Yeah. He's in it.
Martin Freeman punches him out.
Yeah, he plays an Aussie, which is good, because they probably just were like, let's just get a beefy Aussie who isn't going to be very expensive.
He's not a very good actor.
No, he's not. I think his name's Stephen Peacock, and they got him in, and he's just kind of there to be like eye candy, because his name's like John, and Margot Robbie's like, do you mind if I sleep with your security man? And he's like, no. And he's like, even John? And he's like, no, I don't. Which is pretty good.
Fucking wait. How about when like Margot Robbie's like, are you sure you don't want to sleep with them? You'll be here for a few weeks, and your vagina will be eating your leg. And I'm like, I watched it with my dad, and he kept going on about how that was one of the funniest jokes he's ever heard. Right. And I'm like, it wasn't that funny.
That good.
Yeah. But he kept going on about, like, after the movie, he was saying to me, your vagina will be eating your leg. That is hilarious. And I'm like,
shut up, Dad.
It's not funny, Dad. Fuck. Like, that was one of the least funny jokes in the movie, and I laughed a lot in the movie. I also thought Christopher Abbott was really good, despite the fact that he's a white guy playing a Muslim, which is fucked up.
Quite a bit in this
I thought he was great. I thought he gave a great performance, and I loved his character.
He was really good.
It didn't bother me as much as it should have, but I thought he was really good.
Yeah, Christopher Abbott, the most whiting-sounding name of all time, plays a guy called Fahim Asmadizial. No, but I think the screenplay was really good. It was adapted from a book, I think, called The Taliban Shuffle or something, and I did really enjoy it, that aspect. I just think
it's based on a true story.
They should have got a direct... Yeah, it's a book too. They should have got a...
It's by the guys who made Focus.
Yeah, right. I know. And that was a better film.
And Crazy Stupid Love, I think.
Both star Margot Robbie. Margot. And no, I did enjoy it though. It was a pretty good movie. Jacob, this week I gave Jacob a movie that was one I watched really recently. In fact, I must have talked about it on last week or the week before's podcast, and it shot up my favourite movies of 2017 list that I've seen, and it's a musical. It's the La La Land of 2002, and it did what it couldn't by win Best Picture, and this is Chicago. Jacob, they had it coming.
Now, you didn't really have to give this to me because I was going to watch it anyway, but, you know, I'll take it. Sorry, cough. Chicago is directed by Rob Marshall, who went on to make the masterpiece Into the Woods, which I would argue is even better than Chicago.
Fuck off.
And should have won Best Picture.
Yeah, I agree, it should have. It's the La La Land of 2014, okay. Jacob.
Jokes aside, and by joke I don't mean my joke, I mean Into the Woods.
Both.
Chicago was really damn good. Yeah, Chicago was really damn good, and that's because of the musical numbers and the performances from Catherine Zeta-Jones and Renee Zellweger.
Yes.
And Richard Gere was pretty damn good too. But like, I like Renee Zellweger. She was good in fucking Jerry Maguire and in this as well. And I'm like, I'd never seen her in any movies before them. And I'm like, you know, she can act. And she's cute.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, now these days she looks like a gargoyle because she's had so much Botox injections. But you know, back in the day, and she was great in the movie, especially in that. The ventriloquism song that they both reach for the gun, like when she's on. And I watched that scene again. Richard Gere grabs her boobs so many times while he's puppeteering her, like
because he's meant to be this biggest creep, like this creepiest guy,
fucking madman.
And Queen Latifah
when he's singing a song
John
about
C.
how he's all about
too.
love, and then it cuts to him going, "Do you have $5,000?
Yeah, do you have $5,000? If Jesus was here and he had $5,000, maybe we could do something." No, he's
Queen Latifah was great. She sings a good song. And it's kind of like, in this, the musical numbers are kind of like set in fantasy. They're just there to like sort of accompany and represent what's happening in the actual plot. And it's a good thing they're there, because without them, the movie wouldn't be great, because it is a pretty thin
plot. And then
plot,
like the media circus actually turns into a circus where they're all like puppeteers.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I think it kind of peaks in the first half. Like, all the numbers in the first half are insanely good. Zeta-Jones performing all that jazz, you know, the Queen Latifah song, and the Cell Block Tango, which was fucking awesome. Just freaking
my favorite.
They had it coming.
Musical number.
They had it coming.
I'm gonna say, I love that.
I don't know what my favorite would be. Probably something from La La Land. I don't know.
Like I
haven't watched many musicals. Also, shout out to the Central Park number from Enchanted. I love that one.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
But I haven't seen any classic musical numbers.
Well, what
really,
about the classic musical, fucking Singing in the Rain?
Oh, I have seen that, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot that existed. There are a couple great ones in that. There's there's one where it's just I think Donald O'Connor, like, where he's just doing a bunch of slapstick that was entertaining to watch. And the actual Singing in the Rain number was really good too. But anyway, that's off topic. The Cellblock Tango is great. It's like this 8-minute long musical number, and they all come out and basically explain why they killed their husbands, and then the chorus, they had it coming. It was so damn catchy, so intense. And Catherine Zeta-Jones is fucking amazing, dude. Like, she is like sexy and terrifying all at the same time.
Won the Oscar for it too, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if the second half had kept up that manic energy of the first half, and if the songs were as memorable, this would have been like a masterpiece. Yeah. Like,
I think
probably would have given it 5 stars.
I gave it 4.5, just because I think obviously the first half is perfect, and I think the second half is terrific, just not quite as good as the first. But I still absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and I thought the second half was just good, which kind of... I think they should have switched the movie around. If they had put... I don't know how they would have done it, but if they'd found a way to work it so the songs in the first half were actually at the end, I would have left it on a high, and I probably would have been like, best movie ever! But it is a fucking great musical. I'd give it a 4 out of 5, and if you haven't watched it, I recommend it.
I still love the songs in the last one. Like, the whole court case is in last, and you know I'm a sucker for court, but like, it's just...
thing is, I don't remember any of them.
Oh, yeah.
I remember like a lot of the choruses and shit to all the songs from like the first half, like "You be good to Mama, Mama be good to you." But like, I don't remember any of the songs from the second half of the movie, and like, you know, that's a problem. But it's a great movie, and Catherine Zeta-Jones is one of the best like performances of the last couple decades in like a supporting role.
Yeah,
she's really good,
amazing.
and I'd give it a 4 out of 5, and definitely recommend checking it out. As to whether I think it deserved Best Picture, I can't comment because I have not seen any of the other movies it was nominated
I've seen
against.
pretty much all of them. It was up against the two big ones. It was up against, which I've seen, is The Pianist and Gangs of New York. The Pianist for me gets a bit boring, but you know, it's directed really well by Roman Polanski, and you know, Adrian Brody's really good in it. And then Gangs of New York is also pretty boring. They're both like 3 hours. Gangs of New York it's really good. Obviously Daniel Day-Lewis, Leo DiCaprio. Yes, it may be like 2:30, 2:40, but it's fucking long as hell. But
I said, is the penis?
The penis is that long, Jacob. No, they're both good. They're both
Adrian
great
Brody's
movies,
penis
but
that long?
I actually prefer Chicago. I think it should have won. Because, you know, it doesn't have, it's just all about, you know, for me, I think everyone's just pissed because it's all about subject matter. They're like, oh, The Pianist, you know, it's a true story. He ran away from the Jews. Why didn't it win? But I think Chicago, just for obviously its energy, its performances again, like how they even made that, like the choreography and set pieces were terrific. I'd choose Chicago, but
I suppose we better wrap that up now. God, we're running very late on. We're running very long here, so we're probably not going to be able to go on Guardians for too long.
That's right. We already talked about it for like ages
that's
last
fine.
time.
We've already reviewed it extensively. But in lieu of a top 5 this week, what we're going to do is we're going to both give our predictions for the top 10 internationally highest grossing movies of 2017. Worldwide. So we've got a couple contenders out already, but
worldwide,
we're going to go through and like rank our top 10, what we think is going to be the highest grossing movies of the year, and then we're going to come back at the end of the year and then
and we'll discuss and see what we got right, and we'll do like
see who got more right.
We'll get a point for each, so you get a point if it made the 10 and a point if it's in the exact right place. We'll probably get like 3 points each, but you know spot. Yeah, so
I'm sure most of these would be in the 10, but...
Alright, so we're gonna...
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the order, but I'll read out my 10, and then you read out your 10.
and then we'll talk about them.
And then we'll kind of discuss them and see how they compare and stuff. So, coughing fit. Alright, so my 10 is Cars 3. You never doubt Pixar. My number 9 is Justice League. 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 7, Spider-Man Homecoming. 6, Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever the fuck it's called. 5 is Transformers The Last Night. 4 is Beauty and the Beast. 3 is Fast 8. 2 is Despicable Me 3. And 1 is Star Wars.
Holy shit, we have the exact same 5 through 1.
In that order?
Yep, in that order. Alright, my number 10 is
shit.
Thor. We did this without telling each other. We're going to send it to John now so we can just talk about this a lot more smoothly. My number 10 is Thor Ragnarok. It's got the power of the Hulk, and it's Thor, and everyone loved the trailer. My number 9 is Spider-Man Homecoming. My number 8 is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. My number 7 is Justice League. My number 6 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then, like you said, my 5 is Transformers The Last Night. My number 4 is Beauty and the Beast. 3 is Fate of the Furious. 2 is Despicable Me 3. And number 1 is Star Wars The Last Jedi.
So yeah, I reckon that top sort of 5 is pretty, like, I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it might not be in that order, but I'm pretty sure that is going to be it. So we...
Like, the fact that we put them in the same order has got to mean something.
Oh, yeah, it's got to... Yeah. We both did a lot of research and seen, like, what past properties had given, track records and stuff. So you have Cars 3 instead of Thor Ragnarok. That's interesting. I
was torn between a few movies for that.
Yeah, I agree.
It could have gone to the other Pixar movie, that Coco, which will probably do all right. It could have gone to Wonder Woman, which I don't know if that's going to do
neither
as well.
of us had Wonder Woman.
Could have gone to Could have gone to War of the Planet of the Apes. I think that's going to do well.
It will, but it won't make the
I don't know
team.
if it's going to smash it. The first two Cars movies didn't make tons, but it is one of the most merchandised franchises in the world, and it's popular, and it's picked. You never doubt the Disney.
You don't, and this is like 6 years after the last one or something like that, so it's got a little bit of nostalgia behind it. Before the kids who saw it when they were 5, and now they're like 12, they're like, "Oh, Cars!" Oh, Cars! That's my kid impression.
Oh, Cars!
I just have.
Oh, let's get some Cars.
That was one that was probably my 11, but I cut it out because I did not. I mean, it's merchandise to fuck, like the second biggest merchandise of all time behind Star Wars, just. But again, you can't deny the power of the MCU. These aren't movies I want to see in order. Obviously, like I don't care about Transformers at all. I barely care about Pirates. But Thor Ragnarok. It's got the power of Thor in it. People love the trailer.
Out of all these, I mean, we've seen 3 of them, but out of the ones we haven't seen, which one are you most looking forward to seeing?
Ooh, I'm gonna say
out of all yours and all
mine.
I mean, we've only got one differential.
Oh, mine would be Thor Ragnarok for mine, and out of yours,
well, Cars 3 is the only difference. So
it's Homecoming or Last Jedi.
I'd say out of everything on the table, I'm most looking forward to either Thor or Star Wars.
Yeah, that's for me.
One of those.
Thor or Star Wars for me, it'll have to be.
Because a lot of them I'm not really that keen for. Transformers will be garbage. Despicable Me, I like the movies, but it's just sort of another one that's like, yeah, I'll see it, get it out of the way. It'll probably be good, but it's just like,
Despicable Me movies are good. But
they're assembly line movies.
Yeah.
Just made to appease
kids.
Get them out of their
also
parents' hair for a couple
Illumination
hours.
is you can never you always have that slight doubt that Illumination will just pump out some garbage, so there's always that in the back of your mind. Like fuck off.
And Minions was fucking shit, and that's the last movie they did. So
yeah,
the last
but the Minions are barely in this trailer at all, so maybe they know that people are getting sick. I don't know. But
Justice League I do look forward to, but it'll probably be shit because Zack Snyder's directing it. So we'll see. Pirates of the Caribbean 5, no interest in, but I've heard it could actually be good, so why not? And Spider-Man Homecoming I'm pretty excited for, but Thor and Star Wars are the only ones that I'm like, yeah, they can be great.
Exactly. Fate of the Furious and Beauty and the Beast are a bit of a cheats because they've already come out, but, I have them at 3 and 4. I think Despicable Me 3 has the power of the Minions and just that people love that franchise. I think it's pretty good too, actually, and I'll go see it. And you can't forget when you're going to a kids movie, you're selling 2 tickets, you're not selling 1. And I mean, you're selling 3 if they have 2 kids, So if a mum takes her 2 kids,
but this is not
3
as
tickets.
Huge for animated movies as last year.
No.
Like last year, you got Zootopia and
Moana.
Finding Dory, which two big movies. Moana, even
Sing made
Moana
Sing
didn't
made a
even
shit.
make as much.
They both
much
made like
compared to those.
$650. Yeah.
There aren't really many huge tentpole ones this year. You got Despicable Me, and then
What do you think of Dunkirk?
That's really the only one I can see hitting a billion.
Oh yeah, Coco won't hit a billion, but I think that'll make a lot. But it is also, it sucks to say, but it is because it's about the Mexican culture, so I'm not sure if that'll make as much. Like, I love The Book of Life. That's a Mexican culture animated movie, which is fantastic. But I'm not sure if
just
people will
public
be as
service
drawn.
announcement. If you've never seen The Book of Life, watch it. It's
so
fucking
damn
great.
good.
It went so far under the radar. It came out to my cinema like 6 months after it was released, and I saw it in an empty theater, and I was like, oh, I was moved. I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking good. Why
I own it. It's really great. But I'm not sure if people will be as drawn to it. Like, it's the same as Moana. People weren't as drawn to the Polynesian culture, and it didn't make money that Zootopia made.
You're all racist.
Yeah, right?
America.
I agree. The Emoji Movie.
The Holocaust didn't happen.
I think the Emoji Movie could make like 200-300 mil.
Don't even
that
start.
Sucks, but I mean,
that doesn't apply.
But for the budget it's made on.
But there are some other movies that we think can hit that 600-700 mark. I think Dunkirk's going to do business.
I think
Interstellar made like what 700 or 650.
And it's also a war movie. People love their war movies, and they love that. You slap Christopher
Harry
Nolan.
Styles. You've got the One Direction market.
Do people even listen to that band anymore? Did he leave? Did he
like,
leave, or was
people are
it someone
still
else? I don't know. I know someone.
Nah,
left.
Zane left.
Oh, you loser. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, War for the Planet of the Apes, I wish would make the 10, because this will be one of the great action trilogies of all time when this comes out.
And
if it's
it'll
amazing.
do well. It'll make 600.
Yeah, it will. It'll make 500-600, especially if it's good.
Alien Covenant will do okay.
Yeah,
It'll make
Alien
like 4
will get
or 5
around.
maybe. But it's rated R,
Prometheus
so it
made
won't be
about 4.5, almost 5. Plus, this is a sequel to that.
Logan made a respectable 600.
Yeah, that was great. But Alien also has the title of Alien, and that will draw more people in. Because some people will be like, Prometheus, what's that? I don't care. But people will see Alien
It'll
and
probably
be like,
make more than Prometheus.
Oh, yeah, and Prometheus made 4.5, almost 5, so this would make... I reckon this will make about 6, at least. And, dude, it's also got James Franco and stuff in it, so you've got that crowd, too, the stoner crowd. But,
So, I reckon that top 5 will all make $1 billion.
I have all of them except I have Transformers on about 900, just because
I'm pretty sure every Transformers movie has made $1 billion, though, hasn't it?
Probably, but I think people are getting tired.
The last
I'm trusting
two made
people
1.1.
to not be dumb,
and I am trusting in how fucking dumb humanity
yeah,
is.
I'm hoping they're not as.
I
dumb.
don't even know if I'm going to watch it. I might just watch it just so I can review it, but I haven't seen 2, 3, or 4,
saw 4,
and I'm probably not going to bother.
I'll see it.
Seeing them.
I saw 4 too.
I'll probably see this one, but I'm not going to go and watch the others to get caught up on the story.
No, what story? They're all the same. It's all some conspiracy, and then they have to get some bowl off the government that controls them, and there's a rogue.
That trailer where she was like, that trailer where she was like, "You fight like a girl," was so lame.
Yeah.
I'm like, it feels like they're just trying this forced attempt.
Speaking
at
of lame trailers,
you can do it more organically.
I don't think Wonder Woman will make the top 10. Sorry.
No, it'll do all right.
It won't make the
like
10.
600.
I'm saying it won't make the 10. I think it will make. I think it will do Thor, Doctor Strange numbers, even though it's a big character.
Justice League is an interesting one.
I just don't think so. It just wasn't just like that appealing. Justice League, yeah, like you said, it's only got the power of the brand name. I mean, I think lots of people were turned off by BVS because of the huge weekend drop after it because of the bad word of mouth. So some people will do that, but it's also Justice League.
Is bad. If Justice League is like bad as BVS, I can see it missing the 10.
Yeah, same. Just like BVS. Dude, BVS barely made the 10 last year. Did it even make the 10? I think it was around... I think it was around like 8.
It was like 7th.
Like, if we did a prediction... No, I think it was 8. If we did a prediction, we would have had it like 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, like, it's Batman and Superman. It should have made 1.5 billion easy.
It shoulda, woulda, coulda, rush.
With a bit of spare change.
Yeah. I know. But, yeah, so that's our predictions. Yeah. We're going to come back at the end of the year, around, end of December, and we're going to go see what we got right. So right now...
You'd probably have to wait till maybe a month or 2 into the following year, because Star Wars will come out December, and that's going to have a lot to go on its run. Yeah. So, also, if you're watching, comment your predicted top 10, and we'll put them in a Word doc somewhere and see how
we could even
stack up against each other.
So comment your top 10 down there, and we'll read out whoever gets the closest on that podcast, and
whoever gets the closest will win a prize. The prize is our love.
Yeah, the prize is we won't shit talk you on air like the rest of the dickheads who don't win. How about that?
Fucking Blake.
Yeah, I bet he'll do shit.
Everybody go message Blake and tell him that he has his release dates wrong, that Moonlight is a 2016 movie, not a 2017 movie.
Also, if you beat us, we're just going to ignore that we ever said that, and we're not going to read you out, because it will be embarrassing, but it will happen also, so no shout-outs for anyone.
Dude, we're not going to win.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so comment that down below, and we'll save them. Like, you can keep commenting, but I mean, it's a bit of a cheat if you comment in like December when you know where they are. So we'll stop like at the end of this month. But yeah, comment, see what happens, and yeah, we'll read them out. So now we're gonna have a power discussion of some of the spoilers from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Jacob, did you want to start?
Yeah. We're at an hour, so we're probably going to keep this to like 5 to 10 minutes. Like, we're just about done. So, okay, I don't know where you start. There's not a whole lot to spoil, but there's a couple big things. One is, I mean, you can see it coming, but... well, you know, if you haven't seen the movie, turn away now, because I don't think we made that clear enough. We're going to spoil the movie. Stop watching now. You know, you can skip to the end if you want to hear us wrap up, but, you know...
Ego's a bad guy. If you heard that, you're
stop
a
watching
dickhead.
now.
You should have left by now. But, yeah, it does turn out... I mean, you can see it coming, but Ego, the living planet... he's been planted at the start. It flashbacks to like 1980, and he like plants something in Earth, and he shows Peter's mum. She's like, "Wow, I don't understand what you just said, but I love the way you say it." And then, kind of this plant kind of grows, and then later in the film, you see that he's actually had thousands of different kids because he needs 2 Celestials to take over the world, and all of these kids have not been strong enough to handle his aura. And
Big Pete's the only
like
one
millions of them are dead.
Actually got the god gene.
So he's got the gene, and he can become a Celestial and help him. And then it turns out all these flowers and all these different planets where Ego is gone and made love to some, you know, sexy native, and then had a child. All these planets have got a flower on them, and the flower turns into blue goo, and it starts covering the world.
So basically, Ego wants to become the world.
He wants to become the universe.
He wants to be everything.
If he is that flower, and if he overtakes it, he becomes that planet too, I guess.
He basically just wants to eat the world like some kind of fucked up Kirby.
Yeah, some kind of weird Galactus with blue goo. I don't know. That aspect was really dumb. They should have kept the scale towards family, but
they didn't hide it very well.
No.
Like, from the second you meet him, you know something's fucking up with him. And so...
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise.
Which would have been alright, but there's a big chunk of the movie that's just him explaining to Peter what he is and where he comes from, and like, yes, son, we're reunited and stuff. But you're sitting there and you're like, no, this cunt's up to something. So for this half an hour that they're just hanging out, it's so boring.
Yeah, I don't know, I think some of the interactions are fine. Like Drax almost vomiting at he's like
Drax had some good stuff.
Like,
Drax
what are you
and
doing?
Mantis
's like,
had
I'm
some good
imagining us
banter.
being together physically. Yeah, that was
Mantis loves the Bantis.
shut up. You know,
Wait,
and then yeah,
no, you're not ugly. You're beautiful
on the inside.
on the inside.
Oi, Jacob, I ain't done nothing right my whole life. Let me have this one.
Oh, the fucking man.
Famous last words of the man who dies in this film, and that will be Michael Rooker's Yondu.
Rip.
So Yondu, Rocket and Yondu have their own adventure, and Rocket, and
he was the best character in the movie.
Oh, yeah, Yondu and Rocket, they have their adventure, and it gives it. Rocket's kind of an asshole. Like, even when Peter's walking out of the ship, and he's like, "I hope your dad's not as big a dick as you, orphan boy," and I'm just like, "Fucking hell, man, jeez." And then I'm like, and then
yeah, like,
he's like, and then everyone's like, "You a professional asshole or what?"
At the same time, I like that.
Yeah,
I
same.
like that the movie doesn't just make them like, yeah, we're family, like, straight away. I mean, yeah, they do at the end.
But you also discover that that's why, like, Rocket is like that because, like Yondu says, he's like, you feel like you have to be mean to anyone because if you let a little bit of love in, you'll realize how empty, like, the metal inside you is. And Yondu's like, people rip me apart and put me back together. I was sold off to my family when I was 3 and I've had to kill all my life. And he's like, Rocket, I know you because you're me.
Was he a headless sex slave?
Yeah. He's like, exactly.
Cool.
He's like, you're me, and so you find out that that's why he's a bit of a dick. And, Rocket comes into his own and even cries at Yondu's funeral. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like, I like that Rocket was like that because these guys, like, the Guardians are still bickering with each other a lot because these guys haven't known each other that long and they've spent their lives being criminals and assholes and everything, so it's obvious that they're going to be at each other's throats, and I like that. That's what, like, they did like bad people working together better than Suicide Squad did. Suicide Squad just had them be in love with each other at the end. Like, yeah, we're family. No, they should be at each other's throats the whole time.
Got friends.
And that's something I liked about the dynamic of this movie.
I got a family. Shut up, Punisher. Shut up, Tom Jane, you dickhead.
You're gonna turn your back on family?
Shut up. Wait, El Familia. Jacob, you never turn your back on El Familia. #family.
You don't turn your
The
back
people
on
in our
El
group,
Familia.
some of them I just boggle my mind. Hashtag family. I saw one guy was like hashtag family over force, and I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
People like those movies. So they're good, but you know
They are good.
8
but,
wasn't
you know,
amazing.
El Familia. So
My favorite thing is how every movie ends with them having a barbecue.
yeah, it's just a staple. Of
So that's just
franchise,
that. Save the world. Grill some meat.
man. Grill some bloody chicken. Oh wait, and this time they didn't have Coronas,
No,
did they?
fucking
No, this time they didn't have Budweiser.
Cook
they had
some
Corona.
bad guys and then cook some sausages.
Hey, they did.
Oh, they love
Yeah.
the Corona, don't they?
This time they didn't have
love
Corona.
their
They had-
Corona.
oh no, this time they didn't have
They didn't?
Budweiser. They
Oh.
had Corona. Yeah, they had Corona.
Oh, I
Usually
thought they've
they're
always
like-
gone with the Corona.
Well, they had something
Transformers
different
went
this
with
time.
Budweiser, didn't they?
Yeah, it was one of them. But yeah, they
With
were
their
always like
product
crack
placement.
open a nice Corona and like like that is like what was that movie where he like cracks open a Pepsi? Oh, World War Z, where he cracks open a Pepsi and he's like, oh, that is refreshing. I'm like, fucking hell, Brad Pitt.
I don't remember what that
Fucking
was. but I
legend.
remember
It's
that
at the very
happening.
end. He like kicks a machine, and the Pepsi drops out, and he just drinks it. And he's like, "That is refreshing." I'm like, "Jeez." It's no Transformers. Yeah. So yeah, I still really enjoyed Guardians. You know, it's a great film. Yondu kind of sacrificed himself for Peter because you find out that Yondu kept Peter because he knew that Ego. He found out Ego has been killing his kids, and Yondu was the one hired to like deliver kids to him, and he kind of gets kicked out of the Ravager
We were gonna
crew
eat you!
by Sylvester Stallone, who's the head of the Ravagers. He gets kicked out because you know Ravagers don't deal in they don't trade human life. They don't trade livestock, and he found out that you know he
Yeah.
traded Peter, and his taser face ratted on him. So he gets kicked out,
Fucking
and then they all
Taserface.
come to his funeral.
But yeah,
and-
Stallone was cool because you could tell his character had a history to him, and it was cool how all the other Ravagers showed up at the funeral and blasted their fucking lights or whatever the
fireworks.
fuck they did.
Stallone just looks
And,
like a guy who has had rocks
and
thrown.
how they all did their fucking like chest bump
Yeah.
salute. I'm like,
And-
yeah,
and
fuck
Stallone
yeah.
just looks like the guy who's had like rocks thrown in his head his whole life. And that's like what a Ravager is.
In that first scene where he's introduced, I genuinely could not understand half the words he said.
As soon as Yondu was like walking down the stairs in the
broke the
background,
code.
you just hear people talking. All you hear is, I'm like, Sly!
I really couldn't tell what he was saying. I got the bit about him saying you broke the code, but I couldn't. He was just like,
You think this is easy on me? You think this
like
is
people
easy?
make jokes about it, but it is true. You can't fucking tell what he's
Jacob,
saying.
you think this
I mean,
is
alright,
easy?
he did a pretty good job in Creed, but
Fucking legend.
this is going to be the toughest enemy you ever face. I do believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
Hey. No, he's a terrific actor. I wouldn't say terrific, actually.
Wait.
He's a good actor. I love him.
Wait,
I love him.
you look like Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, yo!
Is he cool?
Is he cool?
Is he cool?
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's
cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
What about David Hasselhoff shows up? Like, Ego turns into Hasselhoff for a second for some reason.
I thought Ego's like skeleton sort of form
that was
pretty
awesome.
spooky.
I love that. Ego gets like blown up, and then he like just starts walking towards him as like a skeleton, and then like muscle slowly gets onto him, and then veins, and he starts turning into a person. That was. So
I just wanted to
sick.
see his face on the planet, just talking as the giant planet. Give him a couple arms and legs, walk around. Hi, I'm Ego, the friendly planet.
Yeah, walking around in space. I'd say that, and he had like a big mustache.
I mean, can do.
It's sick.
Yeah, I didn't love Ego. He was one of the weaker points of the movie. Kurt Russell gave a good performance, but the end battle was just, light beams everywhere.
It was
We got,
crap.
like there was some good character
Baby
moments in
Groot
there.
was awesome.
It was just Groot was good. How he didn't know how to defuse
Like,
the
the
bomb
thing-
properly. How long do we have? In the unlikely event that Groot doesn't kill all of us, about 6
I
minutes.
love how it's actually a dynamic change when you think about it. In the first one, Groot is like muscle, and he beats 10 people at once so they can get. In this one, he's a liability. They have to catch him when they're like driving around and throw him to one another so he doesn't fall out. They're trying to fight, and he's just dancing around like doing nothing.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad they didn't make him overpowered.
Yeah, same.
Like, I was worried that they might have been like, oh, let's just, make little Groot fuck everybody up and be the strongest one on the team because it'll be funny. No, he's like a
liability.
fuckwit. And
He's like, literally, they're like, Groot, move out of the way, and he'll just wave at him, and they're like, yeah, hi, and then keep fighting, and he's just like, there, like, he's fucking
How about, the scene where he's trying to break Yondu
that's the
and
best
Rocket
scene in
out
the
of the
movie.
Ravager's prison. They're trying to get him to bring back like a certain his prototype head thing, and he just keeps grabbing the wrong items, and he comes back with a fucking human toe.
And like Rocket's like, please tell me you have a fridge with like, you know, human toes, and Yondu's like, no.
Yondu just
And he's like, well, let's never talk about this again. Like, it's a perfectly severed toe, just holding it.
Groot has gone and cut somebody's toe off, thinking that's what Yondu was asking
At
for.
one point, he just drags a whole desk.
Oh, how about when he grabs the guy's
That's
eye?
a desk. Oh, yeah, he grabs the guy. I knew they were going to have a joke like that with Rocket, like being like, holding like something metallic. Let's keep it there. He will not wear his eyes. Nah. He's so funny.
That was
yeah,
funny,
I
though.
agree. Dude, Bradley Cooper is
Just-
so
it's-
damn good as Rocket.
It's not funny because Rocket wants to take the guy's eye. What's funny about it is how funny Rocket finds it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just like... Bradley Cooper is so damn good as Rocket, man. He is amazing as Rocket Raccoon.
I think Rocket was my favourite of the core
Yeah,
Guardians
same.
in this movie.
I actually liked him in this
How
one
about when
more than
Groot
the
like
first one, and I
actually
did like him in
finds the
this one.
correct drawer?
Yeah, and then
When
he just
Groot
pulls out
finds the
wrong
correct
thing.
drawer and he's looking like, aha, I've got it, and then he grabs the like little tin of Chinese candy or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
But you know one thing I didn't get? So you know how like Yondu's kind of got that thing drilled into his head, and so when it gets shot out, there's just like a hole in his head with like sparks and shit. What?
Yeah.
And then James Gunn's brother, one of the Ravagers, gets it at the end. Like, did he have to have that drilled into his head? Like, was he like a robot? Like, did he have to have that like surgically implanted? Like, how did that happen? It's not a headpiece. You don't wear it. It goes into your head and follows your brainwaves.
Yes.
Like, what? What is that?
By magic.
Like, what?
Sean Gunn implanted it for him.
Sean Gunn implanted it into Sean Gunn's character.
He was pretty good in this too. It was cool to see
Yeah, he
him
was.
back because he's the type of, in the first one, you'd see him as the type of side character that wouldn't come back and they wouldn't be explained. But like, he's back and he was given a lot more to
Yes.
do in this one, and it looks like we could actually see him sticking with the Guardians.
Yeah,
which
hopefully.
is
So it
cool.
looks like the core Guardians at the moment are, the first five, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Groot, and Star-Lord. And it
Nebula's
looks like,
with
Oh,
them.
no, Nebula ran away to go kill...
That's right, I don't remember. Oh yeah,
Thanos. But it
Mantis.
looks like we have Mantis now. And I thought we were going to have Yondu at the end of the movie, honestly, but he's gone. So it looks like we have Mantis. Is that it? Mantis and
Sean Gunn.
Looks like we have Mantis and
I don't
Sean
know the
Gunn.
character's
No,
name, but I
neither.
like him.
No, he's good.
No, but like, I hope he sticks around because, like, normally it's like, yeah, he's the side. It'd be cool to see like a main character and then his sidekick ends up being the one that sticks
Yeah, I
around and
agree.
joins them. Like, I just think that'd be like just different when you go different like that. I
Yeah,
like it.
I also like how like at one point, the end credit scenes were just dumb. They were just filler, like that, like just
I didn't
they
like
weren't
them,
even
really.
scenes.
Teenage
They were
Groot
just-
was funny.
Oh yeah, that was great. And there was also one I really liked. Sean Gunn's like because he's got the head thing now, and he's practicing with the whistle, and he's like blowing it around. And
And he
I'm
fucking
just sitting there, and I'm
stabs
like,
Drax
that is
with
so
it.
dangerous. Like you could kill someone with that because he's whistling and it's going everywhere. And then I'm like, that is just stupid. Like that could kill someone. And they go, and like Drax is just like and he like goes in, it's like in his shoulder, and he's like
and he doesn't he just like take the hat off.
I
And
like
then
how
walk away?
it's inside him, so he just kind of walks away. But I'm like, you're the only one who can control it, mate. It's like, what? Of course they're gonna know it's you.
Like, I'll just walk away. No one will know it was me.
Yeah. Oh, you're a legend. Oh, Drax is one who is like he doesn't get angry at anyone really. He loves everyone. He's just dumb. He was
So
kind of,
really, I mean, he's pretty angry at Thanos.
Oh yeah, at Thanos, but like none of the Guardians, you know. But yeah, he's
But, like,
kind of angry at Thanos, you know, a little bit of
What
a
was I going to say?
pet peeve.
I keep forgetting where I was going with this. I was going to say something meaningful, and I've the end credit scenes. Like, there was only really one that was a premonition of where the universe is to go, and it was
I'll
just
call
like
him
saying we're getting
Adam.
Adam Warlock.
Which means
we already
everyone's theory of
expected.
Adam
But,
Warlock
wait,
being in the Collector's Den was wrong.
Oh, what? No, you know what I love? Know what? I just love to imagine
Yeah.
people who like aren't familiar with comic characters and stuff watching it, and her being all intense, like I will call him Adam, and they just hear it's like, what the
Adam, you're
fuck
like,
is Adam?
Really? Like
Who's Adam? Why is Adam's not intimidating?
There's also one that I just have to put out there that is really annoys me. I said in my review that the Stan Lee cameo was a bit of a slap to the face in fans. What that is Stan Lee appears by 3 CGI watchers, like these guys with huge, big alien heads and black robes. And it's like, I mean, it's funny. They know it's funny because people have been thinking that Stan Lee was a watcher, but like he looks nothing like these things. And then
He's
I
not.
was like, it's a bit of a slap to the face, because it's not. He's not actually a watcher. They've just confirmed he's not a watcher. And I talked to my mate, and he's like, no, that's wrong. He is a watcher. They confirmed it. And I'm like, okay, first of all, let me say this. First of all, the watchers have big-ass alien heads and shit, and they don't hide. They don't take the form of other things to hide. They just kind of watch. They can see everything, like Heimdall. Second of all, he was wearing a spacesuit and a big helmet, and the watchers were just breathing out of space. And second of all, they kind of walk away, and he's like, guys, how am I going to get home? And then he's like panicking, and it ends. Like, he's not a watcher. He's not. Like, he's...
No.
He's not. That's rant over. He's just,
So,
he's not a
I think that's the
fucking
show.
watcher. And I'll eat my words if
That's the
if
show,
they
I reckon.
confirm he is. That is the show, Jacob.
Well, yes, Jaron, we know. Like, no one care. I've never seen anyone care so passionately about proving that Stan Lee's not a watcher.
He's not.
It's like the fourth time I've heard you rant about it. I know he's not.
Why do they think he is? Why do people think he is?
Because, I don't know, they just let people be dumb.
All right.
It's like you take it as a personal attack on you.
I
People
do.
think he's a watcher.
No, that is the show. Thanks for...
Hey, I think Stan Lee's a watcher. The fuck do you say
you
about
fucking
me,
piece
cunt?
of shit. Say that shit again. Fucking cap him.
Say it to my face.
Right. Fucking KFC parking lot, mate. Me and you. It bottles allowed. Yeah, thanks for watching. So as we said again, leave a comment and comment your top 10 box office from, however you want to order it.
Predictions.
And
for the
predictions, and at the end of the, we'll save them at the end of the year. We'll come back and we'll read out who won, and you might win a small prize if we can organise something like that. And if you don't, you don't. But either way, yeah,
bragging rights.
We will love you, yeah, and you'll win, and we'll keep your name on the plaque of all-time winners for as long as this podcast goes. Like
we'll engrave a
months,
trophy.
probably.
We'll engrave a children's karate trophy and send it to you.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, watch it, Netflix now, it's a reference. You really want that trophy, don't you? So
there goes another unsuccessful attempt at keeping the show short.
Right.
Like, come on, we had so little material today, and we managed to stretch it to an hour.
We forgot
20.
we were doing I forgot we were doing Guardians
life.
until you said it. I forgot to put it on the plan. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, alright, we'll do that. Well, it's just because fucking... I was like, oi dude, we have to keep our fucking diary display to like 10 minutes, and you're like, alright man, 20 minutes later. Alright,
you dude, you can't filter
no,
greatness.
you can't. And it's...
You can't. So yeah, that's the show. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter at Children of Film. Follow us both on Letterboxd. I'll probably put those in the description.
We're in a Facebook group.
If you want to see what we've been watching.
I'm gonna say it's Movie Talk by Movie Fans, Collider Council, something like that.
Yeah, there's probably about 10,000 members or so, and it's just a group where people come together and discuss movies. We don't own it or anything, but we're sort of active in there. And if you want somewhere to talk movies, join the group, because we're going to be appearing on a podcast in that group that we're actually about to record right after this, so we're going to be fucking exhausted. Yes. And that's going to go up sometime this week. If you want to hear more from us, we're going to be talking about Australian cinema and stuff. Understandable.
Thank you guys for listening to this amazing podcast. Maybe the best podcast on the internet, I've heard rumblings.
So yeah, if that other podcast we're on is up, I'll link that in the description. If you want to hear more from our rambling, we're going to be doing that with our friend Mikey. So we're gonna be hosting it with a guest. I'm gonna be fucking dead.
Well, why don't you fucking cry about it, mate? And yeah, so AFL Live on PlayStation 4 comes out soon, so we're gonna be binging that.
If you're a footy fan,
yeah, bloody
someone on the comments
on PlayStation 4
become an AFL
we'll bloody
podcast.
Have a game with you, mate.
That'd be fun, but go the Dogs.
The Eagles.
Go the Eagles
less. Go the Dogs
lesser. That's Jaren's
less,
thing.
But, still for you.
We did lose by 2 points to GWS, which was rather disappointing.
And we won by about 45.
Get keen for AFL Evolution. If you've got a PlayStation 4, let us know and we'll add you.
We'll bloody add you, mate. All right, that's enough dragging this podcast out for like 6 extra minutes. I'm Jaren, that's Jacob. He loves children, I love film.
The Americans are just like, we're speaking another language when we dive into AFL. So yeah, thanks for listening. And
Jacob loves children, I love film, and we'll see you next week.
You already said that.
I don't care, I'm reiterating it.
Well, so you said it the wrong way around. It flows better if you begin with I love film.
I love film, and Jacob loves children. Better. Thanks, guys. He just admitted it. See ya.
Thank you for listening.
You've just listened to the Children of Film podcast.
Man, it sucks to be you.